I'm Don Colvin, Deputy Director of Indianapolis Parks, and I'd like to first welcome everyone for coming out on this very special day for us. This is a very different type of dedication. Typically, we're doing ribbon cuttings for playgrounds, water spray parks, opening up pools, and family recreation centers. This is truly our first urban garden that we're having the opportunity to celebrate today. I want to recognize our youth here today from the Garden Club students from the Challenge Foundation Academy and the Food Pantry. They're going to be helping us later on pick some vegetables to help this program today. Also want to comment, I'm filling in for Director Stuart Lowry. He has the pleasure, along with IU medical representatives, of being in Washington, D.C. today. And they're talking about urban farming and how to help diabetes and obesity in our country. So far, I believe they enjoyed the presentation so much they asked them to stay another day to continue the conversation. So that looks really well, bodes well for Indianapolis, and we're very excited about that. And if he was here today, you would definitely be able to see his excitement and his thankfulness for IU Medical stepping forth and supporting this program. This is kind of an interesting property. This land was given to us by the state of Indiana. It was leftover land from when they built the highway. And we just were land banking it. So we didn't have any real immediate purposes for it at the time. Director Lowry and others had kind of just a quiet conversation with IU Medical. And we asked them if they'd be interested in this. And we were fortunate enough that our vision and mission also aligned succinctly with the vision and mission at IU Medical to combat and to help those who have diabetes and obesity, and to try to catch it at a very early point by putting fresh and healthy food in their homes and not so much treating it after they have the disease. And it was really exciting because we thought we were only asking for a little bit, and we were pleasantly surprised of the amount and the commitment that they made to this project. There's been other partners at the table that has always helped us. Cindy Porteous from the Indianapolis Parks Foundation. They stand beside us on every project that we move forward with, and they've been the financial component of this and helping us facilitate this program. We had the pleasure to do interviews with many organic urban farmers, and Tyler Gorth, who will speak a little bit, he came forward, and as you're going to see from the garden out, he's done a phenomenal job for us, and his passion is, you'll see that as well. We also have partnered with Ball State University. We had Ned Brockmeyer here today, who's doing his graduate work on the urban garden, and he's going to be documenting a lot of the data, the amount of vegetables that we're collecting, how it impacts the larger community, and this new initiative nationwide. Indy Parks is on the cutting edge of this. We went to the National Park Recreation Association in Minneapolis, St. Paul last year, and they were just briefly discussing this at some of the sessions. And when we came back and we actually turned this into a real project, I think nationally we're going to be looked upon to help these other park agencies to think about different uses for their land. Indy Parks is blessed with having over 11,400 acres of property and 207 individual parks. This particular model that we have here today can be replicated throughout Marion County, as well as at a national level. And as we all know, there's this huge urban garden movement in our country right now. People are starting to be more selective of the types of fruit and vegetables that they're bringing home to feed their family with. And we're very thankful to be part of that. I'd also like to introduce, we have a couple speakers here today, and I'll go through those. We have Douglas Harrison from the Front Porch Alliance out of the mayor's office here, who's going to speak right after myself. We have Maureen Weber from IU Health, and she's filling in for Ron Stiver today. And we have Cindy Hubert from the president and CEO of Gleaners, and Tyler Gorth, the farmer. So at this time, I'd like to turn the speaker over to Douglas Harrison.
Thanks, Don. It's a pleasure to be here with you with the weather holding off, making sure we don't get rained on just yet, right? But the garden's rooting for the rain, I can tell you that right now. It's always a good day when you have an opportunity to celebrate some of the great things that Indy Parks is doing. And this is just one of many great successes that Indy Park has had. But this is one that touches not only my heart, but Mayor Greg Ballard's heart as well, where we're feeding folks. We're helping folks get in touch, not just with the earth, but with the opportunity to have a sustainable food source, and teaching things. Just talking with the kids behind me for a few moments beforehand, they had a chance to learn about tilling and planting and harvesting, and I asked them about cooking, and so I guess that's the next phase for them. They haven't had a chance to cook the food yet. But these all are just steps that we've become somewhat distant from as we've moved from an agrarian society to an industrialized society. And it's okay for us to go back a few steps to pick up some of the things that we've lost. One of them is that connection to the earth, taking care of the earth, taking care of our city as well. So in addition to the Indy Parks that have begun to do the planting and the gardening, we've had the Indy Parks for many years doing the rental lots for our citizens, and they've enjoyed those lots, and now it's time to expand and continue to grow. So this year we also had 50 urban gardens that were started on abandoned properties, in addition to what Indy Parks has done. Indianapolis, you are a forward-thinking city, and Mayor Ballard has led the way by making sure that we continue to allow the community to work with us and to partner with us to make things like this beautiful garden grow. And as the gardens grow, our cities will grow. Our people will continue to maintain health and wellness and also become richer just from having a garden, right? It's amazing, as I cut up a salad last night from fresh vegetables that were grown in somebody else's garden, just happened to have a friend with a garden. But I thought about all the times that people go to bed hungry in this city and how we can connect them. And I'm so happy to have partners like Gleaners and Indy Parks stepping up to work together to make sure that fresh produce gets to the individuals that really need it. And with IU's Garden on the Go, that's another step in the right direction. So for Mayor Ballard, thank you for all the hard work that you've done at Indy Parks and all of the partners, and thank you for your commitment to making sure that this is a sustainable effort that allows more people to be fed in this city. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Doug. I omitted one other thing. We typically, when we do park projects and that, we go out and have community meetings. And many times our community meetings can be very challenging. There's a lot of various issues that come up, and sometimes they're welcomed by the community, and other times it requires further discussion. On this particular one, when we had our public meeting, it was very pleasant. The community, as we presented the idea that there was some concerns why city government was getting in the production of vegetables and why we were going to sell them, but as we told the story of the purpose of this park, the community really engaged this, and Tyler will probably speak to some of it, is the faces, you could tell they were pleased with what we were doing. They were pleased to have this in their neighborhood. And as part of this, we're on the other side, as you came in, you probably saw where the community garden is going to be available for those residents in this immediate area to grow their own vegetables on this park's property. But many of them have come out and donated a lot of their volunteer time to help Tyler with the garden and that's very unique. And I want to compliment the immediate neighborhood for their commitment and support of this initiative. I have the pleasure to introduce Maureen Weber. She was a key person in these early discussions, and she left each meeting with a smile, which made Stuart and I very happy. So Maureen Weber from IU Medical.
Thank you, Don. Well, I will be honest and let you know that we've gotten some curious looks about why Indiana University Health might be involved in this kind of a project. Our staff tend to wear more lab coats than overalls, and so we got some curiosity. But the truth of the matter is that in our hospital facilities across the state, we too often see individuals who are coming to us because they haven't had access to the type of initiative that we see here today. we find people with incidents of diabetes, heart disease, and the dozens of other various maladies that are exacerbated by obesity. And so as part of our comprehensive strategy to address obesity across the state of Indiana, Indiana University Health has been looking for innovative ways to tackle this issue, really in two different ways, through providing better access to fresh fruits and vegetables and access for safe places to play. And so these are ways that IU Health's mission and the mission of the Indy Parks ladders up nicely together. Our Garden on the Go has been mentioned. We have a mobile produce truck that has served nearly 5,000 individuals across our community, providing fresh and affordable produce in their neighborhoods at 16 stops in localities across the city. We have planted 10 school gardens at IPS across Indianapolis, and those gardens are currently being harvested by IPS students, and so we're glad to see that come to fruition. And so we were really delighted when this project came to pass to be able to participate and to help financially support the Indy Urban Acres farm. As really just the next layer of that strategy to make sure that our most vulnerable citizens have access to fresh fruits and produce, and will have then the better health outcomes that we know will result. So I would just like to say that we understand that these partners all come together with different missions, whether it's the urgent need to fight hunger experienced by Gleaners, or the effort to improve the quality of life for all of us by the Indy Parks and Indy Parks Foundation, or from an obesity prevention standpoint as IU Health comes to the table. But the thing that brings us all together is really this unifying factor of making sure that those low-income members of our community, those most vulnerable among us, have access to the nutritious foods that they need to improve their quality of life and their overall health and well-being. So we're just grateful to be a part of this partnership and are looking forward to expanding it. Thank you.
Thank you, Maureen. My next speaker probably goes without words for how many families and folks that her organization is able to touch. And it's Cindy Hubert from the Gleaners. We all know all of their successes and accomplishments, and I'm sure she'll fill us in on details. We're proud to have them as a partner to help us understand how we can distribute the food, and to advise us of what types of crops to grow and what families really need in their homes. So Cindy, it's a pleasure.
Maureen, thank you. You know, it's pretty remarkable when IU Health and Indy Parks comes together in a partnership as strong and as needed as this one. So it's very exciting. This farm and the produce that will come off this farm and the fruit that will eventually come is just a win-win for our neighbors and our community. It's pretty remarkable. All the volunteers will plant and cultivate the food. That will then come and be washed. What we love about that is that it's washed, and then it will be picked up. Steve Carter, where is he hiding? Back here, the driver from Gleaners has already been out here several times to pick up the food. I will tell you that the concern we all had a year and a half ago when all this started was, all right, are we going to have to do this? Because we distribute food. What we love about this partnership is then when Steve comes to pick it up, it's ready to go. I will tell you that it will be in the system within 24 hours. So it will be coming out of the field, it will be brought to Gleaners, and it will be put in our fresh room. We serve 350 agencies within our city, and those people can pick it up out of our fresh room the next day. There's been a lot of publicity of late. 1 out of 5 children in Marion County are living in poverty. It's increasing daily, hourly, how many more people there are in need. I love it. Tyler the farmer handed me this. It's the whole Urban Acres and the partnership, and on the back side says 152,670 people, children and seniors, are food insecure. If that doesn't drive us all, I don't know what will. So it's very exciting. Gleaners is thrilled to be a part of this. It's something that we've dreamt about. Carrie Petty, our board chair, said that she threw it out as a suggestion 5 years ago at a board meeting, never thinking, everybody laughed at her, ha ha ha, an urban garden. Well, we're here. There is an urban garden. Before I turn the microphone over to Farmer Tyler, I have to tell you that I learned today, and I think that we need to recognize it, is that DPW were the folks that came out and tilled the land. They also, through the heat and the dryness of the summer, watered the farm. So when you have a chance to say thank you and to recognize our city, we would not have this produce and stuff behind us if it weren't for the city keeping it watered all summer long. So it's with great pleasure that Gleaners is a part of this partnership. It's what we're all about, and it's with great, great honor I introduce Tyler, the farmer.
Well, thank you. The start of this farm is a result. There's been two national stories that we've heard a lot about and seen, especially here in Indianapolis, food related. One is the rise of organic food, community farms and urban farms. The other is stories of hunger, stories of obesity rates rising, stories of diabetes rates rising. There seems to be two food systems that we have. There's one for the poor, and then there's one for everybody else. This farm is a merger of the two. The City of Indianapolis, their leadership, the Parks Foundation, the Parks Department, and great community collaborations with Gleaners Food Bank and IU Health, we're actually not just managing the hunger issue, we are taking steps to fix it. I want to talk just for a second about some of the farming techniques that we use. We are an organic farm, but what does organic mean? If you ask your average person at the grocery store what is organic, you'll hear words like it's natural, it's fresh. And that's what we use. And I don't actually like to use the term organic. I like to use the term traditional. We are a traditional farm. The term organic only came into place when we needed to differentiate what was chemically reliant and what wasn't. We found out that at some of the bigger farms don't have the consumer's best interest in mind. They use chemicals to increase crop yields. We use no herbicides. We use no pesticides. We are fresh and natural out here. We will have the best food that you'll find in the city will be going to Gleaners, to the people that need it the most. That being said, Don, if we don't have anything else, we are a working farm, and we have work to do out here. We've got the great kids from the Challenge Foundation Academy. They've got some junior farmers. Yeah, give them a round of applause. And they're actually going to be helping me farm today, probably teaching me a few things. So we're going to get to it. We've got some kids that are going to help us plant. We've got some kids that are going to help us pick. And we're also going to be packing vegetables ready to go for Gleaners today. So I want to thank everybody for coming. I want to thank the people in the community, the people that live right over here that have come out today. Thank you all.
The Indianapolis Parks Foundation is involved in this project, Indy Urban Acres, because I think it relates to our mission. And one of the things we do quite well is to find those less celebrated areas of our city that need our help, need additional resources, and connect those dots with other community organizations to find and leverage additional resources. This was a perfect project for us to combine not only the idea of providing something in our community that was desperately needed in terms of fresh food, but also to eventually find a way to connect children with programs that they will benefit from. I think what I see in the future of this project is a stronger partnership, ways to leverage additional resources by partnering with you, and a unique partnership. I mean, who would have thought Indy Parks, the Indianapolis Parks Fund, and Gleaners, IU Health, and I think that that eventually will then bring neighborhood groups into the fold, community organizations, schools, organizations that are serving families and children who are in need of this type of resource. I think it will be something that will benefit our city tremendously, but ultimately at the grassroots level.